Welcome to the city of Eastvale, a city of community, pride, and prosperity. Eastvale is one of the newest cities in western Riverside County, located in Southern California and growing at an amazing rapid speed for its size. Eastvale, incorporated in 2010, is said to be one of the fastest growing cities in the state of California. Eastvale currently has over 73,000 residents, and it's growing fast. Hi, I'm Lisa Ledezma, and I'm going to be your host today, and I'm excited to walk this journey through Eastvale with you. As we meet with the mayor of Eastvale, we highlight some great areas of Eastvale, and we also get to talk about some things that are around Eastvale that you can do as families, individuals, and up-and-coming millennials looking to buy homes, be first-time home buyers, first-time landlords. Awesome. I'm Lisa Ledezma with PRMG, and I am also here representing the Women Wisdom and Wealth Project along with the Rental Review Program. I'm here today with Brandon Plott, the mayor of Eastvale. How you doing, Brandon?
Doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for meeting with me. So excited that you are an amazing human being, a great representative to your city. You love sports, right? You have a beautiful family. Your wife is beautiful. Your daughter. You have a great job. It looks like you have a job. Let's just say, forget about being great or not. You have a job. J-O-B.
I'm fortunate.
And so thank you for not overseeing or excusing yourself from those things and harboring yourself into a home and saying, you know, I think I've seen it in kid movies where the cartoons of chaos and the leader runs away, you know, and that's not what you're doing at all. So so thank you for that. Let's when you moved to Eastvale, you bought your second house. You bought it after the market. You didn't care what people were saying, obviously, because you wouldn't have purchased. I mean, you bought for your home. You got married. You have an up and coming family. Why is it important for you to own a home?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna make it really clear. I'm not a financial advisor, but you know,
no, but just you. Why is it important for you to own a home?
There's tangible value to having a home, right? It's a place where you're gonna live, and for me, I wasn't going to move anywhere else, right? Well, at least unless it was for career or my wife's career or whatever, then yeah. But my intention, of course, is to stay. And when you have that intention, I feel like real estate's probably, again, just my opinion, real estate's probably the best investment you can possibly make. And I have a 401k, I have separate stocks, I do different things. I have another little property in Arizona. Real estate's the best way to go, especially if you know it's for the long term. If it's a place where I'm going to live, I'd rather own my place than rather have to rent it out if that's an option. And to allow to do that and make it my own home and in a place where, you know, I'm gonna want my children, my future kids to go to.
Right.
And so, yeah. And with that, with the times, you know, your home value increases, right, over time. So there are multiple mechanisms of why it would increase, whether it's just through natural equity or the debt that you pay down on that home to create, you know, more equity. So, yeah, it's definitely my choice if we're talking in terms of investment, but just as in livelihood, it's kind of, there's something about the American dream to own your own piece of land and property. So
right. And so I don't disrespect or dishonor that. And I stand here in front of you today telling you that for my home, I'm 40 years in this country as a family, and I'm not just shy of that. My family has been, we landed here and we came to this country on September of 1968. My dad, I don't even have to go far. I just have to go to my dad. And my dad can tell you that he remembers being 15 years old and being limited to one option at the grocery store, one per person. We're in a new world. And so you were talking about Chino, and I got so excited because I was going to talk about North Corona, which is, but it's true. Chino and Norco are ranch home, humble beginnings. towns that are very old money, and they understand. And then I quote from a very close friend of mine who said, I believe they went to high school in Narco. I said, would it be fair to say that it is no surprise to someone who comes from Norco to remember that it's where their heart is, their heart rooted is, where their family is, and when they grew up, it came from humble beginnings. So it humbles us to remember that all this responsibility goes away and we're kids again. And that brings us back to a joy. And Eastvale's going to come back, and it's going to be somewhere where 20,000 people came and remembered when the pandemic happened, when the new world changed, when everybody stayed home. Do you remember when mom and dad stayed home for like a month? And the mom and dads are like, somebody shoot me, schools are out, I am not a good teacher. And it's only 1 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, this is a reality. So for those moms that are individual parents in your city, in every city that own a home right now, they are pulling their hair out. But there are some at-home businesses that they can create, and I want to encourage that. I hope that you guys are also encouraging your city, I'm sure you are, to work from home, because that's exactly where you're at. I can tell you firsthand, there are a lot of people that have already done what you're doing. They're excited to be able to say they live in Southern California alone. You have a lot of commuters. I'm sure you have a lot of people that are looking to stay there and not have anywhere to go. And I'm sure more than anything, I want to draw into going into home ownership. And what I saw in Eastvale, you got a couple real estate companies. I saw you were able to talk to one of the bigger brokers in real estate in your city, which is fantastic. He's a great guy. So shout out to Nazar. He's an amazing real estate broker. And he's had a great vision, and he's been working at it for a long time. Why don't you tell me about the greatness of the nightlife we have these families been looking forward to after 5 o'clock? When they're done shutting their computers, it's 5 o'clock. Kids are tired of mom and dad being in the room. You are building a oak tree in that small community. Tell me about your hotel. Tell me about your vision, and tell me what's next for Brandon next term.
But before I was a council member, I saw two things I kind of were campaign promises, and one was to help strengthen our public safety by creating a citywide neighborhood watch program. But anyways, the second promise was to strengthen our economic development. More specifically than that, it was a very specific goal in building basically a nightlife. And I'll define nightlife, because I want to be careful how that gets misconstrued. I'm not talking about clubs. I'm not talking about things like that. But a place where people can go out at night with their families or their friends or girlfriends, whatever, to get out and have a great time. And currently in Eastvale, we never had that. The other aspect to that is there's a reason why you want to do it, but we really need to do a better job in our city, and we haven't done a great job, is really building sales tax generation. And it's such a crucial point to a city's health and well-being. And granted, we've only been a city since 2010, so you're going to have those obstacles. Well, part of the obstacle is that we've had everything's predominantly residential, and it's homes, but there really is, we have about 15% of basically vacant land left. So what we do with that land in Eastvale is vitally important as far as what are we going to develop. Well, when we talk about the strength and well-being, it has to do with sales tax generation, meaning things that are happening that create transactions. Well, if you take that, the number one leakage in our city, and leakage is defined as money that leaves the city and gets spent elsewhere.
Okay.
It's dining and entertainment. Number one, it's about $73 million that leaves the city. So we've already quantified it. We've measured that. We hired a contractor to figure those things out to get those things. So it became my determination, the goal that we go and along with our other council members and another particular councilor named Councilmember Todd Rigby, who served as mayor last year. We really worked closely together to build out nightlife. So when the Hamner place came up, which was bought by Lewis Development about a year and a half, 2 years ago, we wanted to make sure, we wanted to put our handprint on that to say what will happen with that city and partner with Lewis Development. And they've been gracious enough to work very closely with us. So basically, the hotel is basically a Staybridge Suites. It's a 4.5-star, beautiful hotel. It'll be their newest model. It'll be there'll be a rooftop bar. We're the only rooftop bars in the Inland Empire. It'll have a cabana pool area, and what it is that lot of land sits right next to Silver Lakes, but it's kind of on a bluff, so it sits a little higher up.
Soccer stadium overview. That's fantastic.
Exactly. It's an overview. It's about a 4-story hotel. So you're going to get this really impressive view. You have a rooftop bar nightlife. I've seen a few renderings of what the rooftop bar looks like. Absolutely breathtaking. It is awesome. Very modernized, very beautiful. It also have different food options there. With that, around that, we have various restaurants that are going to be appealing to people. We have a fine dining steakhouse coming in, and it's basically the meat cellar, but it's the version of the meat cellar they call Tony's Chop House by the Meat Cellar.
Awesome.
That's going to be a high-end steakhouse. Beautiful. The TI improvements, the 10 improvements that are going to go into that place is going to be gorgeous. What's really important about this site, it's not a very large site. You know, it's about 17 acres of this particular area. So it's very kind of smaller, but it's going to have walkability, connectivity. So you can go from one place to the other walking. And so it's just a beautiful area. And the quality of the design is gorgeous. I mean, this place the whole layout is going to be gorgeous. The landscaping, the lighting, the architecture. So we're really excited about it. I think, you know, we're going to be not only capturing our revenue, but the revenue that Silver Lakes bring in. They bring in about 1 million to 2 million people a year, and so they'll be coming in as well. But yeah, exactly. And not only that, but there's also events. There's country concerts and all different things.
No, what you're doing with Norco and what Silver Lakes is doing, it's ingenious. It's going to bring money to the city, which the residents. Why does that even matter? And I could say, as a resident, it matters. In 1992, Moreno Valley Mall opened on October 12th. When you have financial questions, you don't have home ec, and you're out of high school, and you don't know what to do, because I've got an 18-year-old myself that's just going to do what she thinks she's supposed to do. Let me tell you, when you don't know what to do, go get a shovel, some dirt, and dig a hole and plant your seed and make that choice. And when you make that choice in home ownership, when you make that choice in a home, maybe you don't buy a home. Maybe you start by renting from someone, right? And you budget. I personally, in my own household, it had to go from a monthly budget to an annual budget. That was it. And as a single human being, just as an individual, if I had no children, that's the smartest thing to do, because all I have to do is reach that level of finance of what I cost myself, right? And we can put our kids in private school, we can put our kids in public school, we can put our kids wherever we want, but they are as expensive as we teach them to be. And millennials need to know that the baby boomers may not have had it all right. The Generation X's didn't want to be like the baby boomers, but the Generation X's also knew that it was important to listen to the baby boomers and create a rooted foundation. So in that, I find my passion in helping those understand their first step in home ownership, first step in investing. It's funny, but when I talk to my dad, he's like, I've been used to this my whole life. Most immigrants have been, you know, and most minorities that don't know how to start from scratch. Well, today you've got residents that are going to pretty much start their businesses over. They were on board, they had great jobs. Now they got to work from home. But luckily in this new world, we can close out with, you have a great city, surrounding cities that support you. They have a lot of events that they can do, things you can do around Eastvale. I went horseback riding at a local stable in Norco recently with my kids. There's so much you can do. Go running, go on a bike, go just do something to show the kids that you don't have to stay in your room, cooped up, isolated. You can come in the living room, mingle up, get things together, and create that foundation and make a plan with your kids at a young age on what's going to happen when they grow up. I guess what I want to close out with today is reminding those that most people step out of their scorecard straight into their credit report. You know? And when you jump out of your report card straight into your credit report and you have the same behaviors, you're not going to be able to understand how to get into financing your own life properly. Get right with talking to the right people. Use examples like yourself and other people around you that are resources that can help people how to get up on business, finance, home, real estate, anything, there's someone to reach out to, and that's the resources that you and I are trying to provide on this.
I think one interesting factoid about Eastvale is our median age in Eastvale is 32 years old, right? So kind of a kick. So it's a place for young families to come in, or different people that have that they want to vision our future. And the pieces that we built out was exactly that. The actual location, geographically, the location of Eastvale, because that in itself is a huge selling point. Whether it's where you want to live, whether it's you want to create your business here, or you want to create your distribution center here, or your manufacturing, it literally it is for everyone, and it's a perfect location. And not only that, but it's a very clean city. We are a very much a family here. It's a very town feeling. And the other thing to note out, it's the most diverse city in Riverside County.
Beautiful. So congratulations, and I look forward to hearing you're going to be rerunning for mayor, or maybe governor, or president.
I'm going to take a break. Yeah, my term is up in December, and I got some plans, some personal plans that'll be coming up, and so I probably won't be running a re-election, but I'll still definitely be involved and go from there, and maybe jump back in it a little bit. We got some personal things I'm going to try to accomplish and get done after this is all said and done for me. So, but come December time, when I'm all finished up, I'm definitely from here to December, I'm going to give it all, and just like I did my earlier 3 years, and nothing's going to change from that. So, but yeah.
All right. Well, Brandon, thank you so much.
As driftwood I've lived most of my days, and it didn't feel bad. Places I've been, the things I have seen, now they're all in my head. I lived more in one day than most people do. In a whole lifetime, I do not draw pride of it. It was just the way I had to swim.